with little Gwen. With his cowbell, he starts the show, chasing evil with a single blow. I have a fever, and the only cure is cowbell. I have a fever, let that magic ring so well. Thin lines and trends, they make you rich, but the cowbell's got that perfect pitch. Every ding is straight line cleanse. Turn your losses into wins. I have a fever, and the only cure is cowbell. I have a fever, let that magic ring so well. When the markets turn and demons shout, reach for that bell and cast them out. Evil flees in utter fright. The cowbell brings financial light. No more doubt or hidden fears, just the sound of ringing cheers. Cryptos rise beyond the skies, thanks to Road Dog's secret prize.
Now, you would think that with this song about cowbell, there would be some actual cowbell, but no. Apparently, it's a do-it-yourself kind of thing, so. That's a sucky cowbell. That's a little bit better for a cowbell. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
Evil flees in utter fright. The cowbell brings financial light. No more doubt or hidden fears, just the sound of ringing cheers.
Sweet. I don't even know how that works, but that is cool. Thank you, my man.
Beyond the skies,
Oh, there we go.
thanks to Road Dog's secret prize.
Woohoo!
In the world of digital gold, watch it rise and fall. Midnight trades and wild parades, no sleep at all. Fortunes built in seconds, blink or lose it all.
Check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Dig while dreamers cling.
You have to do that. Apparently, you're supposed to do that every time before stream. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. And tap the mic.
Stop me out. I'll just buy again. I'll just buy again. You're trying to liquidate me, but you just wait and see. You can stop me out. You can stop me out. Stop me out. I'll just buy again. I'll just buy again. Woke up to a market shock, red lines all around. Hodler shouting, hold the line, no yield will be found. Fear and greed in constant dance, it's a crazy town. riding every dip and spike for fortune to be crowned.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. This is your first time on this stream. You will be greeted by a turkey. Do not freak out. Talking turkeys, while not the norm, are quite harmless unless you eat them way too late. Don't recommend eating this turkey. Well, I don't know. Maybe you'd like it. Let's go. Somebody put on the light bill.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you very much.
So tell me how you're feeling today. As Bitcoin goes up, we were 80K yesterday. And then I'm sitting here, I've been in my charts all day trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with my portfolio, making plans, drawing fibs. And I did stumble across some things. There are a couple of coins that I think may be at a good place to start looking at. There's one that's doing well today. Not great well, but going bucking against the norm there and actually going up. Fartcoin, are you back up again? You dropped, didn't you? Yeah, I thought you just... Yeah, I saw you at 48 and you popped back up rather quick there. Well, look at you, Fartcoin. That's a nice 10% move out of you. So, and it's been a mixed bag for me looking at these charts because, I mean, it doesn't look like we're, you know, well, you can tell we're not bullish, but it doesn't look like we are out of this or close to being out of this just yet. But there are opportunities to be had, and if you've got trader blood in you, I mean, I think we got some opportunities here over the next few weeks to trade longs and shorts, and mostly short swings would be what we're looking for, with fairly tight stops, not too tight. You don't get too tight because they come looking for them. I'm having trouble hearing me tonight. Make sure we got everything good here. Kosher. Let me come to the chat, say hello to you guys, see what you guys are up to, what you guys are doing. Where did you go, chat? Why'd you take off? Got 18 people hanging out with me tonight. Thank you so much. Hopefully at the end of the stream, I got a little surprise from you from Freakbox. I think I'm going to show one of their vids tonight. They're a cool group, and we'll do that at the end screen. I'm having trouble hearing myself. Does it sound okay? Do I need to, maybe I need to crank me up a little bit. There we go. Let's try that. So we got DIDC, who was here first. How's it going, my man? Glad to have you here. So Ave Medina, who's here second. Port PC guy. Said, unfortunately I'm beat, so I'll catch you on the replay. Let me give everybody a quick shout out here. Glittery Marshmallow with Cowbell, Road Glide, Kellyfant, Soul. How's it going, Soul? How's it going, everybody? How's it going, Kelly? Road Glide. Not trying to leave anybody out. Glittery Marshmallow. Antonio Us. Tommy 2 Leaders. There's Sin. Stragart 2121. Jim Derringer says, it still makes me angry that the best deals on IBM were pre-market. It sank to $200 and I couldn't buy. Shot back up to $220 before open. Damn Wall Street goons. Those 30 little bastards. It's almost like they're allowed to do stuff we're not. Must be nice to have the big bucks like that. Javi Medina. If you enjoyed the show, let Road Dogg know. Or else he will keep playing Elvis.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
I can do that all night. Button. Javi says, oh, Doc, I got a crypto issue. Well, the doctor is in. We'll take a look. Why is Fartcoin bullish in such trying times? I've been wondering that myself. Jim says this may not be the bottom. I'm seeing some lower prices lower possibilities for a lot of coins, and I'm like, well, what's got to happen for that to happen? And trying to piece together little dots that I keep seeing from all these charts, and it looks scary. But some of the coins look like they might be at a bottom. Some of them would almost have to be. They've just been flushed out so much. But I guess more Bitcoin and everything. Let's go ahead and get into it. We got Sam. How's it going, Sam? Answer Me is here. Antonio Oss is buying some absolute garbage in spot if it's the local bottom. And I saw Joe from Trade Intuition. How's it going, Joe? Glad to have you here, my man. So here we are, crypto bubbles here for the daily. Another 5%, 6% down. I had some other things pulled up that I was going to go over, but my computer decided to do a update, restart, all that, right before the show. It was like everything. It's like Mercury went in complete retrograde again right before the show, spilling coffee everywhere. It was just a mess here. But here we are. We made it. We're blessed to be here. Today is a day of life, and we're all alive, and hey, that's good. I mean, sad to say, I don't mean to be a bummer, but one of these days we're not going to be here to say that. So let's enjoy every day while we got. Good days, bad days, up days in the market, down days in the market. And we're here, we're breathing, we're alive. And as long as we're alive, we got a chance to do something great with our lives. So let's keep that in the forefront. And here we are on our first chart. And this is Bitcoin on the monthly. And I'm watching the old MACD here on this monthly, and I'm not, she's tricked us before though, okay? She's tricked us before, and we did all right, but it gets scary similar over here. When this crosses bearishly over here, we're calling it the market's over. Here on the monthly MACD, I mean, it tells you, pretty much when the bear market begins and when the bear market ends. It's a pretty good indicator for that. She's a little bit lagging, but she said that when she first got her first monthly blue candle there, Bitcoin was up at 30,000. So she didn't nail the bottom. She's not for that, but she will help you figure out trend when it's bullish or bearish. Monthly time frame is a little bit lagging here, and so we're getting the brunt of it right now. And I like to walk down here and just see what's going on. Now, we talked about this one, well, a couple of weeks ago, right when she first turned bearish, and that was the warning sign, one of the warning signs. I think we actually missed the flipping in on this, or I did. I don't normally look at the 2 week, but I'm paying attention to her now. The weekly had already flipped, and that was where all this crap happened. You know, on the weekly MACD, I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. And so I don't like the MACD. The MACD sucks, man. But if you'd caught that little guy, and I'm trying to, let's put it on the first red candle, or the first red histogram after the cross, Well, I mean, we should have been up here in the 95s, $90,000 territory before we took our 20%, 25% dump down wherever we are right now. So I would not fade the MACD. Actually, it's one of my rules not to fade the MACD, but apparently I faded the MACD. And it wouldn't piss me off, but as much. But I kind of also faded her back here too. I swore that I would listen to her the next time. Made the promise, and I don't know what the hell happened. I did listen a little bit. I didn't take enough. I didn't take enough effort. I think my next rule is next time you cross, I think I'm just going to get out of the market completely. Screw positions, whatever I got. I'm just cut it off. Go full on cash. I think that's a habit. And something I've seen some, traders I respect that they do, and the traders that had the big money, that seems to be what they do a lot. I've noticed several of them. I've heard them say that before. They just get all out at times, and maybe I need to give that one a go. Sure do know how to go all in at times. That's for sure. All right, so we're sitting here on Bitcoin, watching her tank again today, and this trend line has been what has been holding the man down. Every time we go up to it, it wants to. You can no longer be a solid. You got to be a weird ass color trend line. How about blood red? Because you're just dangerous. Every time price gets near it or goes above it just a little bit, she wanted to come down, and so she just throws us down there. All right, here on the daily, we got the bearish thing that happened a couple of days ago was the 50 crossing the 200. A lot of anticipation over here when it happens. A lot of people saying, "Oh, it's probably not nothing. You already felt most of it by the that way anyway." Those are the voices that are in our heads, and sometimes they come out of our lips. And I've even seen the YouTube people say that, and I've said things like that too. It shouldn't fade these indicators, and that's an indicator when that cross happens. Now, sometimes you do rebound, sometimes it's not as bad, but it means overall that momentum is failing. And we're definitely feeling it now. Anyway, walk it off. We got some good news, things to go over, but gosh darn it, this green line is a big ass 382 Fibonacci from a big ass. There are major pool, right? Let me make sure, because sometimes I don't want to be telling you wrong or anything. Let's go all the way down here to the bottom, 15,500-ish, all the way to the top, about 109. Gosh darn it, Bitcoin. Gosh darn it. I got me some Bitcoin. I stocked up on Bitcoin down here, but you wouldn't know it now because the altcoins have literally ate it the freak up. Won't be doing that again. So I guess, okay, it is. It's 382 Fibonacci area that we have not tested or have not touched yet. That's coming in about 73,775. It lines up right with the top of this little guy, which was our little top back here before she gave us that little triple top pattern. Right there. Hey, maybe I should do a poll. But I was thinking about doing focus on maybe this stream or another stream. We can focus on top and bottom patterns and what to look for tops and bottoms. I may save that for the old chart school or something, but let's get on with it. Okay, so we got some bearish signs. I'm not liking the way the cloud's looking, but it could look worse. It could look a little bit more like this, and I'd be, oh my god, oh! I'd be freaking out a little bit more, but I'm not seeing good signs there, other than there are big moving averages. We got the momentum, and we're testing the 360 moving average here on this particular time frame, the daily. The daily is a good one to follow, in my personal opinion. But we're below the 9, and nothing is fine when that's happening. The only good thing is that we're quite a bit below it. It's coming in at what, 81,200, and we were way down from that. So if we can find support here, and I think we will, just to let you know, I don't know exactly where in this area we'll find some support, or if it will squeeze us down here just to touch this little guy. I don't know if we're going to bounce back up. Maybe we come back up to it and then roll over again. That seems to be what we want to do. We just keep going up and then rolling over, going up and rolling over. It's a shorter's paradise, and I haven't been shorting that much. And now that little voice is in my head, you need to start shorting. I'm like, okay, it's a bottom now. Because if I start shorting, it will probably be the bottom. That's what the voice in your head makes you want to do. And here we are. Okay, we're coming down to smaller time frames. We're at the 4 hour. We've been watching this one for a while. Had bearish signs on this for a while. We've talked about them, the crossing of the moving averages way back here, and all that stuff. It wasn't looking good, and it was a bad sign, and now we're getting to feel some of it. Oh, this is what happens. So in this pattern that we're in, that megaphone pattern that is coming down, look for a partial decline, and was hoping that this was working on one here, but here, hey, surprise, we went even lower. This is a 0.5 Fibonacci. This, orange one is a 615. So we're in betwixt this area here. Well, the bigger one, there's good signs of being support here from 72 on up to where we are now. It just, she's just not feeling like it. We came back down to just right above on this candle so far, where we fell down on Monday the 7th. And the market is still scared. Nobody's happy with tariffs. China doesn't want to play ball or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Crypto falling is basically, that's all I'm getting out of it. Crypto's falling. So let's do some analysis here on Bitcoin. I'm on the 1 hour right now. We rejected off our 0.5 area. We didn't quite get up and touch it. And that puts us in the scenario for two things, and we talked about this before. Either we make a higher low. Well, that didn't happen. we come back down and do some kind of double bottom, like a W pattern, or we come down here. Well, actually, there are a few more choices here. We can make a lower low, which is just a little bit lower, and that still can be bullish. I mean, short-term bullish anyway. Or we come down and visit these guys all the way down to as far as 68 to 70,000. Didn't quite seem possible back in January, right after December did it. And I remember an analyst actually calling for these prices back in January. And heavy, you know, they use a system that, you know, I wanted to pay attention to. It didn't happen out then. But I remember thinking, man, that's crazy to say that now. But we can see now how she just slowly wound us down there, right? Not at all what we were hoping for in this bull cycle, I don't believe. But the worst of it all was for altcoins. And here's total 3, representing your altcoins, my altcoins, all the altcoins except Bitcoin and Ethereum on this chart. And definitely looking at this falling wedgie pattern we got going on. Momentum is still there. Even suggests that we might even come back up to 800 and, you know, have another $150 billion that could be coming in into those areas. Don't see it happening today though, do you? Now I was very impressed that she came down here and then she was automatically just boom right back up. We gave those gains back today. That kind of sucked a little bit. And from her move, that's kind of cool. You went up to your 618. That's a little bit more hopeful, honestly, that maybe we can actually, without me changing fibs and redoing a fib pull, you can still apply the strategy to this particular fib, and that's what we're talking about here. So from high to low, tell me where price is going to go, where we got rejected. And we're still doing this thing. I always pull this fib from high to low, and that's how I gauge the strength of the chart. And I always look for this area here, 236, if we get above it. And that lets us know. Now, that we got a chance, because this was the juicy buy zone. Everybody's scared, or everybody's sick of it, or didn't have money, or whatever. This was the best time to get it. And these areas is when you think, man, I should have bought more when we were down there. But instead, we for some reason, we just inclined to chase those green candles. I want to buy them now. They're going up. Rejection there, but okay, for level to level, let me get sidetracked. We tested this guy, okay? And so far, that's good. This is a 4-hour candle. We got something. We caught something on that and a trend line. So there is some hope, a little hope. But when I look close, I mean, it's showing the signs that she wants to roll over with the 9 moving average. She's got that little curvature there. Doesn't mean that we have to, but that's usually what we're looking for. But this seems to have put a nice little stop there, right? That's a nice little candle wick that's going on there. Let's switch over to our regular candles. What does that look like over here? See, that's a lot of buy pressure pushing up right now with altcoins. So there's a lot of people right now that are saying, these are going to look like they're juicy. And I've got a few to show you that I think I want to put them on your radar. I'm not trying to sell anything. Some of these I have, some of them I don't have, but they flipped up on one of my screeners and I want to look at them. But there's a couple that may appeal to you, and I think they're cheap, and they've made good gains before in the history. They're in some good sectors, and I want to take a look at some of those if that's cool with you guys. Let me come over here. Hey, Ove! We got Jay Violet in the house. That is a awesome thumb. The icon emoji. It's not emojis. Is it emoji? What are these things? Avatar. That's it. I had to think of the blue guy. You know the blue guy? Do we still have the blue guy? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Somebody forgot to put their bandana on. Let's go back to the turkey. Hey, Jay Violet, how's it going? So I got this Stream Elements thing going on. I don't know if you can do the little exclamation pointy thing. I don't know. I'm still messing with all this stuff. I'm still trying to learn it. Jim Danner says, I was macro bullish on NKN until they announced a token buyback. Now I'm bearish. A token buyback. You know, it sounds like a good thing. And I also heard that from Maker, and where they're buying back their coins too. And you would think that would make the price go up, right? But yet Maker's down. Maker I like because it has limited supply in a definite use case that I think a lot of TradFi people would be interested in. All right, so crypto total 3 market. I'm on the 4 hour. We are catching the bounce here. Let's come down and look at the nitty gritty. We'll come down to the 15-minute here, and it's not quite a breakout. Not quite a breakout there. Not quite a breakout there. She's trying. Maybe she can try. I like what I'm seeing there. That sucks. A death cross on the 15. How dare you? Don't do it. We're above the 9-moving average. Come on, baby. We just need a little something. I see some increase in volume as this was coming down, and we'll see how we do. Let me go ahead and get into some of these juicy altcoins. Are they juicy or are they just totally decimated? I'll let you decide. One of them we've looked at here before, and it's Peak. And I was going over it today trying to plan out how I was going to do it. Now I keep it on spot. I don't have a leverage price. I don't look at this one very much, right? Well, that sucked for a level. Look at that round and bottom for that Adam and possible Eve. Remember, I would say possible. We don't call them out like some people say, look, Adam and Eve bottom. We're going to go to the left side. There's an example where they did not happen. Did not confirm, and therefore it became something else besides the possible Adam and Eve. But here's what I like. Zoom out. You're not the chart? You're the chart I was on before, right? Did you not save it? Oh, right. And let me go over to COINEX. That's where I've been charting mostly today. Did you do it again? Oh my God, boomer moment. Finally, we got something. So, now I am not big on these things, but I know I've got a harmonic pattern here. Now I could not find which one it was, but my fibs are fibbing. And they're harmonicking. It's harmonicky, and we came down to. I thought it was a shark, but sharks have a higher high. I'm trying to digest how they do this because it really overlaps a lot with my fibs and what I do. I'm just trying to get the perspective that they're in and seeing it from their point of view. But I see a lot of crossover from what I've learned from the fibs and what the harmonic ciphers and all that stuff do. But anyway, this one's at a 1.13 Fibonacci. If we go from this little guy called X all the way up to A, you can see that's where I got my line drawn there. And by these harmonic patterns, they're known for doing something called I think it's called a type 2 return, where, they'll come back and they'll retest the bottoms there. So a nice little double bottom formation at this, and this is a bullish pattern because from here your target actually is right up here to the C level, which is at 72 cents. Now I'm looking at peak, which is coming in at 10 cents right now, and I've been in this guy since probably when she was around 30 cents. Yeah, so my little bag is down. I've added to it along the way, not here and there willy-nilly. And from here where I got it, going back up there, well, that's just a 2x. Yay, 2x, woohoo! Woohoo! Makes you want to hold it for more, and you don't feel like you got enough out of it. But however, from here, to up there. Well, that's almost a 6x. That's a little better. I'm just saying. So, I have not added to my bags lately, but at these juicy areas, I cannot help but to just keep thinking about doing that. And Peak, you were down to 9 cents here at that fib level. Look at that, 113 here. What? From X to A. See how that does that? Sharks are the only ones that I've read about so far that touch that level, but they, from what I understand, they have a more definitive bounce area and a higher. Anyway, so I think this one's got some doing. And if I were to do it the way that I do, fibbing this little guy out, our first target would be around 24 cents there. Or the first juicy target that I would be looking for that's worth holding, because we got to stair step up through our fibs to make this worthwhile, in my personal opinion. So at some point that would be hit. We can get lower targets in between by pulling from this guy. But I would expect this one to at least come back up to the 618, and that'd be 48 cents from here. So you're talking about, you know, a good 4 or 5x depending on. And it may be a slow play, but when she gets moving, she does seem to move, except when she gets to going down, it's just, there's not a whole lot of chop when she gets running. But this is one I want to put on the radar. It's not time to get into this one just yet, but this one would be a nice little DC8 area for dang sure. She was below the 9 moving average on that daily. And let's see if I can find the bottom of this guy. That's pretty much double bottom. Still a higher low there, but that one looks interesting to me, so I think there might be a little something here. And even short term from what we got, it was up at 17 cents. Same rules apply. So she just got rejected from here, so we might see her try to, I want to see a double bottom happen here. Why shucks, we're going to figure out what it is. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's just fib this little guy out. She's at 618 now. She could be bouncing here or at 10 cents on the dot at the 786. So very tiny movements now where we are. But this guy can take one to the 13, 14, maybe 15 cents. So she's got, that'd be from here if we got up there, what, 24, 30, 50% gain. So there's money to make short term on it too, but this would be a good place in my personal opinion. For me, I'm going to add to my bag as soon as I find some dry powder somewhere that I can do. Because I need to get into something that's going to give me some excess to recover, and I think this one might be a good one. Didn't mean to spend too much time there, but let me come back to the chat here real quick. Jim says, when the team begins buying to aid in market support, it also encourages them to dump at higher prices to sustain the project. Yep. Never a good time. I will not dispute that wisdom, my friend. So here at Peak, I'm on the 4 hour. This is a possible double bottom, a W formation forming here. And essentially what we'd be looking for is just, it's also a channel. If you, I'm always going to point out the channels because they're there, not enough people to look at them. And I do it at bass backwards and some, but some people get that little tool out. Where are you, tool? Oh, here, is that it? It's not a fib channel. It's just a channel. I think it's in this line over here. Oh, I know where here, parallel channel. So a lot of people use this little guy. Apparently, I've changed things. Never mind. Screw it. Okay. Anyway, sideways channel is an easy way. It's the same way. Same thing. Any kind of double bottom that you get. Adam and Eve, Adam and Steve, Eve and Eve. This would probably be an Eve and Eve. But your measure move is the same with the W pattern or the channel, and that takes us up to the top of this level right here. We were just talking about that 24-cent target. So I think that's kind of interesting. I likes it. I want to draw a little trend line here, and I'm going to go from the wikis just to the tops there. And so we have not got a breakout just yet. And so we might have a little rangy here down to maybe 9.5 cents. Anywhere through here I think is interesting on this one. Let's take a look at another one. This one actually did good today. This is one we looked at just recently. It's one of my dark horses, but look at you. It went all the way, and I didn't have a, and that's why I saw that and says, shoot, I'm not playing my spot, am I? So I went in and set my limit orders. When she starts moving, she can get to moving. This is Decred. It's a hybrid proof of work, proof of stake coin. And there's only 21 million, just like Bitcoin, and she's at a juicy $12. And last run, when she was around $12, and I chased her, I think I added up to my bad a little bit at maybe 19 or 20, and that was, or 20, November 2022, and I was like, oh, that's too much. And then she spiked all the way up. I only had a few coins, but she got all the way up to $250 there. I got out of it way before then, but I was very impressed with how well it performed. There's also that little guy there, man. You didn't do the 113 though. You just did full on double bottom. And you also, it's like that little type 2 return, that little double bottom shapey here. I was really hoping that this roundy up and then this roundy up, that would be the butt crack, but it looks like we got double butt cracks going on here. So on the daily, it doesn't look like much of anything, right? And it probably should, and it probably won't be much of anything. It's probably just a spike up and come back down. I wish I'd been part of that. Well, I will be on the next one though. I got my little fib levels set there to take some profit on this guy. Back in December, she got up to $26. I just left it there, didn't do nothing. I could halved it, and problem is I wouldn't remember. I'd have this money and it'd probably go into something else. I don't have it compartmentalized where I can set it aside just to buy back into this one unless I set a limit order. But I'm one that routinely erases my limit orders and redoes them a lot. But that was a nice little pump off of this little guy. Now, I'm not seeing anything here on the daily saying she's just ready to rock and roll. Well, I do short term, but I'm not seeing anything. I'm still seeing some moving averages that have got to be dealt with and everything. So with this little guy, now she might be continuing on up and just pulling a fib and throwing off some of these levels. 22, 19. Yeah, I don't know that those will get hit at all. But 17, I could see 17 getting hit, maybe 19, 41. Those would be the two little areas I'd be looking at with this one short term. But it was nice to see a little movement, but that movement might continue since these are higher lows. If so, that would be awesome if we can come up here and make a higher, maybe hit $28 again. Now you're just getting stupid opium. It feels that way now with the way the market is, but for some reason this one's moving, and it might be because there's so few coins in there, and maybe some more people found out about it. But we don't have the signs yet, the flipping on the moving averages to tell me that, hey man, let's get her before she rocket ships off. I don't see a rocket ship coming. Probably a lot more chop, but thought that would put that one on the radar too. This little guy, have we looked at this little guy? Nakamoto Games. Steep discount. Steep. She's all the way back to where I first got into her. And the bag I got now is a moon bag, but it's my only bag in Naka now. She got as high as $3, not just once but twice, right up in that area. Gaming coin, I think, is one of the better ones out there. But she is at a support level right now. And looking back over here, that was the it was this little top. We are at the top right here, right before she dipped down a little bit, came down to, actually it's our next little target there too. Fib levels nailed these little guys here. I don't know if we're going to go there, but if we do, I don't know what would take us there, but it's not good. I'm hoping this bullish divergence that I'm seeing here on the daily time frame will have a little bit of pull here. To me, it looks like we're trying to round out, but that doesn't mean that we can't get down to that little 18-cent area. That would kind of suck. But all my little fibs are pointing toward some nice little reversal areas here. At least if it's going to be temporary. We're at a 1.272 right here. A 1.382 right there for our second target. We've also got these ideas to look at. What about a measured move? Well, let's take a measured move. What do you say? Straight down, put it there, and where do you say we're going? Oh my God, down here. Don't tell me. And it doesn't have to do that for the measured move, but you know, it might. Take a conservative measure moves a little bit better. But I do like the rounding shape that we're starting to form here, and you can kind of see how that can eventually, maybe we come, you know, it doesn't mean straight down that we're going there, but we're ranging out. This one might be an interesting range play, and I say that for this reason. When you got these coins that are so low, so if we're somewhere between 15, 30, 40 cents, there's your multiples. There's your multiples. Those are the range ones, in my personal opinion, my experience, that are fun to play, that you can build up bags and actually, you know, make some gains playing these guys in these ranges. I used to, before I actually learned TA, I used to play a range game with this one called Red Coin, and it was mostly, I don't know. I can't remember if it was pennies or Satoshis that we were playing with. I think it was Satoshis. But it was just a few sats, or yeah, it's just so many sats. I think single digit sats. But the range, you think about it, every time, you know, you're at 10 sats and you go to 15 sats, that's 50% gains. So I mean, there's something to be said about these things, and it's a degen play. But that's why people like some of these degen plays. If you can find one that you kind of can hone in with. I don't even know if that coin is still around, but Nakamoto Games is here, and she's had a juicy price. This one went up to $3, remember? So there is a possibility of this one going back that high again, or even just half of that wouldn't be bad. It going to $3 would be your 10x, and that's not bad from here. And she's proven she could do it, and this was this year. So I kind of like what I'm seeing here with Nakamoto Games. She's in a juicy area, and she is at a place where she might get a little lift. And if so, where might you go to, darling? Let's get the big picture over here from our December high to where we are now. And so where we need to see her get back to, where we bought our little fib, look right here. Let's draw a little Alt-H action. Line that little baby up there. And you can see that she got this area here, support, and it was support here too. Let's see if I got you dialed in here.
Man, it's a hot one.
And color you red. I want to lock that little guy in there. Our next one would be this other area right below here. 382 Fibonacci. That's coming in at 85 cents. I ain't seen that in a minute for Nakamoto Games. So I can't guarantee that she will not come down anymore. All I can say is this is a nice little area, and I like what I'm seeing here. It's going on as far as price action that we are starting to round out. It may go down to 18 cents, but I don't think she'll go straight down there. But what we can do for the meantime is just kind of zoom out. I like the way the fibs are lining up for the most part. And it looks like we could range somewhere between 50 cents, maybe up to 55. Basically, we could range up to 64 where we pulled our 236 from there. But that's kind of the higher part of the range there. If we were going to do this little guy that way, would have this for my little sell box, anything at 50 cents and above. And I would have this as my juicy little green box. Technically kind of more here, since this is the level we're holding within this range. But so you want to come down here, get deeper discounts, and then we can play that game too. But Nakamoto Games, I like when I'm seeing what she's doing to keep an eye on, and for the multiples that could be coming from it. And then there was this guy. There was Kava. This one's actually doing a little bit better. She's not. She's actually on a higher low area here, right? And we're on the daily time frame. Let's zoom out to the 3 days so we can kind of see what this chart looks like. Kava has been up as high as, believe it or not, $9. And yeah, crazy. That was last cycle with this one. It's a lending platform. It's a layer 1. Actually, I got it pulled up over here. Or I did have it pulled up. That's before my computer crashed and rearranged everything on it. Okay. Here's Moon Whale. How you doing today? You're at 1.5 cents. We looked at Moon Whale last night, and she looked interesting. I got me a little bit last night. Let's take a look at Kava. $450 million market cap. It's a nice, smallish, low mid-level market cap. 1 billion, not 40 billion, not 100 billion, not 420 billion or trillion, just 1 billion, which used to sound astronomical until everybody started outdoing it. The more zeros, the more people want to buy it, not me. Makes me want to stay away. It's more zeros this guy. So all-time low was 8 months ago was 24 cents. She's at 41 right now. 95% down from all-time high. And I don't know if she would reach $9, $10 this bull cycle or not. At this point in the game, we're in disbelief, and it's hard to think that anything's going to make a crazy high. But that's part of the cycle. That is part of the game. And if we can make it through this without giving up our hope on crypto, the bull run should continue. I don't believe we're in bear market. That theory is out there. That theory is also out there this time last year. Well, I mean last cycle. Well, actually, not this time. Right before it started going straight up, there was all calls. We're in a bear market. It's over. We're not going up. You know, and then we went to 64,000. Some of the same people calling like that, calling bears right now, are the same people who were doing it then. So I happen to like a few of them, so I'm keeping my eye on them. But anyway, Kava, an interesting thing, and I was trying to see what she did over here. What I like about some of these coins, now maybe they're old hat, not shiny or new or anything, but you know, there's no more coins to be unlocked. They're all unlocked, baby. There's nothing left locked except for 69.4 Kava. I don't know what that is. 99.95%, 1.08 billion have been unlocked. Nothing more than rain down like there is on Pith. What's the other one? All the ones that are shiny that everybody was just saying they're going to be the greatest things, and now they're down at dirt's end because they've been going through all these unlocks. Oh, it didn't hurt us. It doesn't hurt you until now. You see, they're at their lower lows that they've ever been. Kava is a layer 1 blockchain that combines speed and interoperability of Cosmos with the developer power of Ethereum. It was built on the ground to optimize its resources. It was built from the ground up to optimize resources for protocol growth, strengthened by its Cosmos EVM technology. So it did well last time. Crypto's Russ George used to be big on this back when it was about $4. I remember seeing it. This is the website. Been around. It's its second bull run, and it's a Cosmos ecosystem coin, man. They're awesome. They are still doing some things. Fine-tuning AI models for DeFi is what they're doing right now. Let's see, these are some of the things. AI optimized flash loan strategies and DeFi, AI for social DeFi. So, I mean, they're staying on top of the game. But just throwing that out there, what I saw on the charts. Also at a bottom area, 41 cents. This is the lowest that it has been. At least on this chart. This is COINEX. And let's see, was there another? We went over Nakamoto Games, Kava, Decred, and Peak. Those are some that just kind of caught my attention for where they are right now, and some possibilities. So I saw that there could be some good possibilities through these. But you still got plenty of time, in my personal opinion. Now here we are on now that was the weekly. We've been looking on these things on the weekly. This isn't on the daily, basically. Let's go through the daily. Momentum is still, she's still fighting with that. But we're trying to come up and reclaim that 360. Let's see what happens. We seem to be respecting the trend line. So buying close to the trend lines is what I like to do. If I can find a trend line and prices close to it, respecting it, we're starting to find support and bounce off. Then I look for prices, to get above a 9 moving average. And we are. And even on another trend line there. And what that does, it gives me, a tighter stop loss than if I were to come and wait for it to clear this level. You can think about that idea, and the reason I don't do that type of thing. And some people do, they'll wait till we get up a level, and then some people just jump in there, which I don't, because you make a higher high. Sometimes you go for that lower low. But if to me, it's like buying a top, and I try not to do that strategy. But there's some people that would wait for maybe this level. Well, that's not the line I'm looking for. And all these are valid strategies, right? I mean, this is what the big boys do them like this too. The idea is to wait till you get confirmed momentum, and that way you're buying an uptrend. But if you jump in here, I don't do this. I used to, but that's why I like my bottom trend line. But let's say if you did, then you got 24% if you're going to put a stop loss below the lowest candle. We're at, catching it here. We're looking at half that, about 12%. Just some of those ideas. Or even just using this trend line here as your stop. That's actually what I would be doing. That's the one that's holding right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for the ones that I actually looked at. Now, there's a couple that are tripping off, that are kind of bullish right now. One of them, Jim, you were talking about Telos. Let's take a look at that one. What's it doing? It was showing it was on my screener as something bullish, and I don't see it. Well, what the hell? I don't see why you were on my screener. Okay. That was one. Okay, that's not working out. Let's see. XPRT persistence. I haven't looked at this one in forever. What the hell? Look at you, XPR. Why are you 8 cents? Okay, I don't know what signal they're tripping, and usually when you see them, if they're saying they're bullish, and a lot of times they've already played out or somewhere. I would say this is kind of like peak at an area that's worth watching, but I don't know that this one's worth it. She could go lower, could go down to fractions of a penny is her next stop, so I would want to see, considering what levels that we can go down to from here, I would want to see this one recover, or show some sign that she's not thinking about coming down to fractions of a penny. That would suck. We can't go down much more from here. Yeah, she can go down another 90% there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to see $10 turn into $1. or worse. There's some bullish. I see. I'm not seeing. Okay, screw this one. Screener also said Beam, and I've not looked at this one in forever. Now, which Beam are you? It was this one, I believe. All right, Screener. What the hell? Let's call up this Screener and see what we're doing. And looks like we got a whole new set of things. We got some strong buys. Perhaps that changed very quick. There's a Beam right there. Strong buy. Volume trades 24 hour down 25%. I don't know what's triggering this. Unless, I mean, usually things are... Usually I'm bitching because they're too high to buy. It looks interesting. Now, this is something I'd be looking for because it looks like a double bottom. I'm surprised at that indicator, or that that would be flipping a signal, though. So maybe there's a possibility here of a double bottom, but it would be wise to wait for confirmations on this or anything, really. The markets, especially the altcoins, man, they have been pounded. And yeah, she's at a good level to look for something to happen. But I'm not seeing any signs that she's ready to rock, and I see signs that she might be coming down. All right, so I'm not even going to bother looking at. Well, there was another Evmos, which I've not looked at this one in forever either. So, okay, I don't know what's triggering my screener. I mean, maybe there's something there. There's some bullish divergence according to this, but she ain't ready to skyrocket. She's rounding out here. It's accumulation. So, wow, this thing is 0.003 cents. This thing, when it was airdropped, and then I think some other chain came and copied it and just took all the thunder out from under it, but this thing was up there, you know, like, got as high as 370. All right, so I'm not finding anything from the screener that looks awesome. MG Motorsports says, I'm George, you're George, we're all George. I like George. Strega says, I drink onion water, it helps me trade better. 1111 1111. Nice, so how's it going? Trade with journal. What do you look for confirmation? What do I look for confirmation? Is that what you're asking? When it involves a trend line, it's usually a break of a trend line, or the touch of a trend line if I'm looking at the bottom trend line. I guess it's best if I call them out when I see them, which I thought I did that earlier on one of them. But getting above a 9 moving average on a particular time frame, that's one of the confirmations I use. And I use multiple time frames, so I'll look for a setup on a bigger time frame, zoom in, and then try to execute on the smaller time frame. And I'm also looking for those similar or same signals on the smaller time frames as I narrow it down too. So if as I look at the chart and see something, I'll try to come back and see if I can better answer that question for you, or at least show you. Dr. Turkey, what if you just followed the cloud? How would that work out? Oh, you mean the Ichimoku cloud? Well, I mean, it is, in essence, it's really following price. I mean, that's what it does. It just mimics price, and it's 26 candles ahead of price. And then there's some variations and everything, and that's where all the interpretation comes from. I don't know if I understand the question, but basically the cloud just lets you know what side of it helps me know which side of the trend that I'm on. And when you're below the cloud, it's not good. But you can also look for signs that help you know when you're getting ready to change trends, and that's what I'm trying to use with the cloud. I don't know that I answered your question well there either. Oh, you suck tonight, Road Dog. I also need some more coins to look at because that was all I had to look at. We've been going for about an hour, 22 people hanging out. If you guys got any coin requests, let me see if that little button is working. Is there a button working? This used to be what I... No, you're not working. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You suck. Why aren't you working? Come on now. Let's try one more time here. Nope. All right. Ooh, they went down for the hour again? Are we dropping again? Is Bitcoin dropping again? We're back at 75. All right, let's take a look back here at Bitcoin. So our indicator here, this has got our stochastics RSI, right? And she's still coming down. Now there's a chance that she could catch here, but you know, she could do something like this. I don't see any signs of that happening just yet, even on this time frame. Everything here is kind of bearish, and we're getting another momentum way to the downside. She's at 41, and it's a long way to zero. So there can be a little gas to whatever move is coming on this time frame, and if it's headed toward the downside, they can still push, and we could be looking for a lower low. And that sucks to say out of Bitcoin right now, since we're at 75,000. But all this tariff scare is it's having its effect here. And as much as I would like for us to double bottom here, baby, I'm starting to wonder. It could, it could. And with that stochastics, you know, we continue down and level out, and it bottoms. I mean, it's not saying we definitely need to crash all the way down, but it could. Here on the 1 hour, we got a little bit of we got a green dot here. This stochastic's already buried, all right? And they can stay buried while price keeps coming down. So just because they're buried doesn't mean, oh man, it's time to buy. They can only go up from here. They can stay down there for a long time while that price keeps falling. So now when the stochastics do start coming up and they get past the 20% area, which is right here, when they get past this line, then we're bullish. Here are some examples where they did not get past that line. Let's see what that looks like. Helen? Well, that was not much happening. And then that was, oh my God, it's all over. And the stochastics were flat all through this drop. They were totally flat through all that drop. And you didn't start getting some uptick until right here, and they were still, even as stochastics were going up, price just went up a little bit, and then when stochastics fell again, when they fell here, that's when we went down more. And then finally, there's a little divergence between those 2 points and what the stochastics were doing and some other things. The RSI, I think, is a little bit better one to follow for some of that. And you can trend line out RSI very well. Look at this idea, Helen. When RSI crossed our trend line, what happened? We started going up. It started getting a little bit better for us. Just throwing out some things, ladies and gentlemen. So, trade setup. I guess we can do it over here. We talked about that. Somebody asked me about the trigger. I'm a trend line person, mostly in patterns. I do patterns, and I do lots of things, lots of fibbies. I dare say I'm probably more of a fib trader now. And it depends. And all my tools that I work on. So if I'm trend line, a breakout and getting above that 9 is very essential for me. And so I might see this here on the 1 hour and see that we're coming up. And then also I had to go down to the 15-minute and then, or some other small time frame. And look at that same setup there, just using the smaller time frames. And then I can see, you know, if I get a candle close or something, if it's above the 9, I'd probably jump in on that one if it's showing me something like that. So that's some of the things that I do. And then also it would be the fibs. And if I got my trend line and if I'm seeing something like this, I'm looking for confluence between a lot of signals. And sometimes the indicator may flash me a signal too. I'll take that in consideration. But the main ones I'm looking for have to do with trend lines. And so see, we have a bottom trend line here and also this other trend line. Finding respect and seeing some double wicks there, I might get in on a little degen trade like that. If we pop back in over a trend line and, you know, we got some wicks on it or something like that, I'd think about that. But getting them past the 9 moving average, near a bottom of a trend line where I have a low risk, low is my risk, you know, instead of stop loss a lot tighter there and have a better chance of a positive trade. That's how I look at it. And other people, you know, they'll wait for it to get confirmation. Everybody's different. That's what I do. Some of the things that I do. Anytime we're busting through a red cloud, I like those ideas too. So if I'm looking and I'm applying Fibonacci levels and trend lines and things like that, trying to find points, and it depends on what I'm doing too. If I'm building a position, I'm more likely to buy on just based on the Fibonacci areas or the trend line, and I can build a position that way. If I'm doing a breakout trade, well then there's a little bit more that goes into it, and that would be the breakout and the getting above the 9. So a couple of different ideas and strategies that I use to either build a position or enter a trade, or, you know, mix and match up. Are we on Bitcoin or Bitcoin dominance? This is Bitcoin. So sometimes I watch this little guy. Let's come over here to the COINEX chart. I'm on a small ass time frame here. I kind of want to zoom out and then zoom in. Okay, here's my fib pulse. And there's the levels I am looking at from Bitcoin, and we are bottoming here, or we're trying. Looks like we're attempting a bottom here. Maybe we are. Hope we do. At this fib level. My next one down is 73,360. These guys up here are the areas that we needed to get above, but we just didn't make it up there, and that kind of puts us down. We can, and the areas down here are on the table to talk about. Doesn't mean we have to go there, but they're on the table. I'm on the 1 hour time frame here for Bitcoin, and here's where I'm just monitoring some trend lines. But now, what the hell was that? Something happened with Stream Elements. I don't know if you heard it, but it did hurt me. And if I didn't remember that I'd said something, then that would have freaked me out. Bells Williams, evening. Can you check out Fun USDT? I sure can. Thank you very much, my man. I'll do that the very next thing here. Hey, welcome to the stream, by the way. If you can, hit that like button. That'd be cool too. And subscribe. Join my channel. Help my channel grow. Thank you, Melis. I appreciate that. And fun. You even gave me the USDT and all that too. Thank you. All right, so let me wrap up here with some ideas of Bitcoin. I'll jump right over there. I like trend lines. Yes, I do. And this is just drawing out a previous one. I look for support areas on those little guys because, well, they do that from time to time. A lot more than you'd think. And maybe I'm looking for our new bottom angle here. This would be our, well, this is actually it. And it's a little bit higher and wide. We got some hope that we're trying to bounce off this area. At best, I'll be looking for a W pattern. And that gives us hope that we come back up here to our booby line, bra line, neckline, cleavage line, whatever we're going to call it these days. If it's a bottom, look, it's an atom, and hopefully it's an atom. Hopefully we'll just get right back up there like we did. That would be great. And there's a few little things with Ichimoku. Maybe we're doing that. I'm only on the 1 hour time frame here, and we are getting some signs. Let me see what the MACD looks like. What are you looking like? This looks good. This is undecided yet, but she'll flip-flop if we don't roll over. This can start moving. This is not moving yet, but this is a good sign. There's a little bit of divergence there on the MACD as far as that's concerned. Let me look at a few other things on Bitcoin. If we don't get a good handle on Bitcoin, then it's harder to get a good handle on altcoins, in my personal opinion. Oh my God, are you going to like let me see you or not? You're killing me, dude. Let's try this again. Double clicky. RSI. I was just trying to get RSI, man. That's all I wanted was RSI. Have we got something here? Oh, maybe. Okay, so we got a trend line from this point to that point that suggests that, hey man, this would be a great place for RSI to bounce. I like that idea. What other ideas do we have? Nothing? Oh, you mucked that up. Okay, so I'm interested in looking at Bitcoin, trying to catch this area. I say that as she dives down to the depths of hell at the present moment. Here on the 6 minutes, we can watch her take that nose dive and see if the techie was even correct on this. We're losing our 618, 786 would be at 70. Wow, we're going back to 75, 75.50 maybe on the table here. I guess we got to come down to the 1 minute, Helen. Ichimoku Cloud looks pissed off as all get out. I don't see a lot of volume coming in like we're getting ready to sell off like we were over here. That was earlier tonight. That's what that looked like. All right. So hopefully we're trying to find some support. A higher high at 786 would be decent since we lost the 618 because you suck. Bitcoin, you suck today. I'm not messing with you. Let's go take a look at fun. Do something fun here. Fun and not fun, but fun. Let me take COINEX off of there. This is Funfair, and let me know if I got the wrong one, but I'm pretty sure that's the one it is. And Binance would be a good chart for that. Oh, look at you! Making higher highs and higher lows. Aren't you special? Finding support off the 50 moving average. Now, the bigger moving averages I got down here, 800, 600, 360, they are flip bearish. They still are. Now they're trying to do something, but that's a clue that, especially with the 200 being beneath them, we might come back and talk to that 200 pretty soon. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't see a wave count. Let me zoom out so I can zoom in. And that's just what I like to do. So she's getting her spikes up. hopefully you've been taking a little bit of profit with her history that she likes to spike up and come all the way back down. Spike up and come all the way back down. You probably see that. That's probably not the fun part of the ride. Let's go back to this. Oh wow, that was a long time ago. That was October 20th. Ooh, she's not really got up there in a while, has she? I would say there's a lot of people that if they've been playing this recently, they had a chance to be in profit even if they bought it at the top of last. Oh my gosh, even if they bought it at the top of no, that would have been no, in April of last year. Alrighty, let's come in. So she went to the 786 Fibonacci, and that was a good place to take profit at a penny. Just saying, you're down 30% from there right now as we speak. So will we go back for sloppy seconds, or is that it? That's the question. Elliot, thanks for winning an ABC correction, and you might get a little B wave to the upside. Because she doesn't have her 3 humps and a dump, so she's going to have to make something out of this, right? This is what I look at. And so she could bounce here, and I think that she has a good chance to do it. But when she bounces, is she going to go higher? Or is she going to come up and double top? Or make a lower low and then break this level? That would be the three. That would be my three pumps in the dump theory, or guideline. Elliot's got some kind of weird ass wave count down here somewhere on the indicator. How'd you count that? That's even weird. Okay, I guess if that works. Alright, so if Elliot gets his way about it, should be coming up to these areas, about 8.0083, 0.0088-ish area, and probably not make it past there and then fall over. If she's going to go on another run, I would be looking at 0.012 area. Maybe as high as 0.0126. With an honorable mention at 1111. And I think it's got a good chance to bounce back from here, given that our 9 does not cross the 21 moving average there. And I'm on the 8-hour time frame. I'm going to walk her down here and see what else we got. This still looks a little bit recoverable. Basically, if she loses the trend line here, I mean, stop losses should be below the trend line in my personal opinion. Something like half a penny. And she's at 0.0067 right now. Let's go down to the 1 hour. There we are, respecting this trend line, so I like that. So the smaller time frames. This is for somebody asked me about triggers and things like that earlier. This is what I do, and especially if I'm bottom feeding, like buying bottom trend lines. And so this, I would entertain a play off of this idea. You got a support resistance flip here. So buying close to any of these ideas, to this red trend line, to this area that it caught support on. We've actually got a little bit of a secondary trend line forming here, and it was this, but now we got to take into consideration this. We didn't come back and touch the red line, so we got a secondary one, and that could mean that's a little bullish to me. So while everything else is dying, this coin of all coins out there seems to be wanting to live the party up. For whatever reason they're pumping. We haven't broke a trend line yet, so here I would consider building a position or getting in. To the top of the trend line is like 20%, so you got that too. If it goes over past that, well, that's just extra gravy. Possible 82% gains up there for a higher high if it doesn't. Remember, we were looking for the 618 or 0.5 also. And so that would be this box here.
He woke up early to the crypto sunrise. Charts on the wall, yeah, calculate.
Where are you, little tool? So from where we are now up to the bottom, there's 22%. That's not bad for spot. That's just spot, or 30%. And that's where we could roll over and maybe come down. But if you were to wait for the breakout trader, this is why people get tired, you know, they'll hum and haw, the price hum and haws around. La, 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 la. I can't even draw here. What's up? I'm trying to get my little paintbrush. And it probably will not break out, to be honest with you, from what I'm saying. I think it'll probably come back down and it will probably get something before she breaks out. But there's a nice little play up to there. It was about 17%. You want to wait and get a higher high and jump in or add to a position. But waiting for the breakout, you know, you'd probably be buying here. And if that's all she did, that would just be 10 or 20% there. The hope would be that it would at least come back up to the top or higher. And so that's one reason why I entertain these ideas, and especially if I can see something like this. This support resistance flip right here. Well, that's pretty cool if I can get as close to that, and we're close to it. So that's one instant, and she's above the 9, right? You're above the 9 moving average. That 9 moving average is pretty key. It's pretty key. So here I would jump into a smaller time frame. Ooh, I like what I'm on the 15-minute. That's cool. Still above the 9. And I'm seeing some bullish stuff that's going up here. On this 15-minute, we bounced off the 800. That's really cool. And we reclaimed the Lucy line, 666. Shorter term looks good. Shorter time, when you come down to the 6, I usually stay on the 6. Ichimoku Cloud. I don't know why this one's popping. I don't know why she's doing something good. Then we can come down to small time frames and look. Ooh, breakout. Retested that area. Retested the actual. Here's what I like to point out that I don't think anybody else does. It's helped me out a lot. So however you want to look at this, and I see it as a channel. Some people might be able to fit a falling wedge in there for some reason. And you get your breakout, and there's a retest, right? And testing right where you break out of the channel in that area is one of the main things. Price come back and retest the breakout area. That's what we mean when we say that, the breakout area. So it doesn't always do that though. Sometimes she'll come back and she'll just ride this little, and that's a lackluster breakout. Is what I call it. It's just no fun. This one did very good there. That was excellent. That's textbook right there for a breakout retest. And so that makes a flag above a breakout, and some people will pay that flag idea, but I don't, you know, I mean, why? You got your breakout measure move. That did pretty well. Pretty dang well. And then here on the 6-minute, we got rejected our 200 moving average, and that's kind of normal. This is an area over here. If we're just looking at support resistance, that tells you that 7 cents could be on the next resistance area. And look, right over to the left, we got the 360 moving average also telling us that same thing. So we're just giving you the full. I just like the chart, man. We're just going over every possibility here. So what I do is I pull my fibs from our local top to on the small time frame wherever I'm at. Time frame doesn't really matter for what I'm doing here, and I'm monitoring the move, and it's still got some work to do until she gets about past this little area here, 0068. Till we clear that, post candles above it, we're still probably looking at making a bottom formation. I mean, we might come back and retest that again, or maybe come down lower. I hope we don't come lower, because that would be a little bit. We don't ever need to make a lower high. That looks a lot like the big picture, doesn't it? What it's doing on the macro there. Ooh, it looks a lot like it. And that's crazy. Sometimes you will see that. All right, what the hell is this turkey talking about? I think we got a fractal. I'm going to take it from here. Let's play around. Let's have some fun, because crypto's just dead right now. think we got a fractal. I think I have to blow that up. I lost the fractal. Oh, there it is. There it is. Is that what happened? Did I didn't, oh, I didn't get that. Oh, never mind. Or I have to blow it up really ass big. Well, these are always a pain in the ass to mess with anyway. Come on. Let's try to get it on there as best as we can. Try to get you on there as best as we can in the same little areas. Alright, so there is a fractal from the 6-minute time frame, repeating what we did on the 4-hour. See how that works? Ain't that crazy? And neither one of them tells me what's going to happen next, though. Well, other than, well, you did. Oh, that, as cool as that was, that didn't help us out a dang bit. But that's what the fractal looks like on the, what is it, 6-minute where we're at now, and also on the 4-hour. You'll see that happen a lot in crypto. All right, so what do we determine on this little guy? From what I can tell, we might have one nice little pump coming, and it looks like are you still doing it now? I think she's still doing it now. And I would make notes to see what this does next, because that might be what it does on the bigger picture of things. As crazy as that sounds, this could be a clue for how the bigger time frames play out. If she can bounce up again, then we can maybe expect this one to bounce up again. And hopefully that gave you some insight on this little guy. Short term, we're looking hopefully to try to get up to 0.0074, 0.0076 area. We need to make a higher high, and we just got to take it step by step. But zooming, and that's on the 6-minute. But zooming out, I can see these areas as a possibility. If we can get past that little 0.008 area. Dragon says I'm waiting for 25-cent ADA for Cardano. Sam says I'd love to have $100 in virtual when it goes up 1,000% again. Bellsman, thank you. I subscribed and liked it. Thank you for that. Let me see if my clapping hands work. Yay! We got a subscriber. Thank you. I think it would look cooler. The clappy hands were in front of the chat, but I don't think that happened. Get in the heebie-jeebies 2019 dip feeling which we rocketed out of. I am tired of prices being down. 30 people hanging out. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Chat rate is 1 though. We need to improve on the chat rate. You guys can talk. You can talk to each other. Joe says, dingo dango. So, Strega, you were asking about, I think, Cardano, right? We'll take a look at that. Wonder if we go back up if AI will rip again. You know, or is there a newer narrative? There will always be a new narrative. There will always be that shiny narrative. And my opinions on altcoins are starting to change. I'm just like, the idea of holding in each narrative, whew, man, that's been a hard run with the altcoins doing what they do. And basically, if you haven't peeked it out, altcoins have just been doing, this, and sometimes they've been even going lower. Actually, I think that's exactly what they've been doing. I think they've just been, this whole time, against the dollar and especially against Bitcoin, you would have been better off being in Bitcoin. And my proof in the pudding is my paper trading account, where I got all in Bitcoin. The only ones I'm down on are altcoins and one little Bitcoin thing that I bought somewhere. I bought Bitcoin at 75, or I bought Bitcoin at 90,000. It's down 30,000. All the other Bitcoin buys are up. This was a $100,000 account. Now, it didn't used to have leverage, but somehow it's got, I don't know how that works or when that happened. I've never seen that before. Can we take that off? Maybe I just added it on there by accident. I don't know. I don't ever remember leverage being a part of this account. It was all spot. I thought it was all spot. Anyway, if it's a $100,000 account, and not counting the 2 million that I'm down in XCN, it is still up, and it's been Bitcoin doing it all the way. That lets you know. And there's a Bitcoin buys at 26,000, 55,000, 65, 27. Went ballsy and bought 7 at 56. And I think I took profit or something, and it gave me extra cash, and so then I put it in Bitcoin, which I shouldn't have. If I, this thing could probably be crazy high if I'd played it right, paid attention to it. But just DCAing into Bitcoin, that was the winner. This thing tells me that's the winner. That's the game plan next time. Screw the altcoins, Bitcoin. Mostly Bitcoin. You got plenty of times to play the altcoins because they like to come back to where they started out from. Those juicy bottoms I waited so long for in 2022. Well, it's returned there about 2 or 3 times, and sometimes even a little bit dang lower. Not doing that. Not doing that again. But that is part of the strategies that were taught in trading groups, and therefore regurgitated. And it did work. It did work the past cycles. Altcoin, you did get your altcoin seasons, but didn't anticipate that there would be a flood of trillions of individual, or let's keep it into thousands and tens of thousands of all these meme coins coming and new projects, and how saturated altcoins have gotten. And then it just spreads the money. So when altcoin season, and that's where we take a look at Bitcoin dominance, which we should probably do. I think we might have. Did we take a look at it earlier? Maybe just briefly. I was very impressed on how quick we got up to the top of this trend line. I just finessed my trend line just a few earlier this week. Just went through and kind of straightened it out and everything. And so, wow, we spiked up above it before and came back down. That was good for altcoins. If we get rejected here, that's what we need. And it says, look, we got a red dot, and stochastics are actually starting to come down. There's some other things coming down too. Money flow is still in the green. I believe in that. Some people say you can't apply these things to the indices, but I think you can. They seem to work anyway. Screw you. Maybe this one will stick since we're at resistance. We're getting a red dot. Maybe we'll come down a little bit. Ichimoku Cloud says, "Keep on dreaming, buddy." And what that means is we'll come. If we get rejected there, we may come down a little bit, but she's still ready to rock and roll. So this is the daily, and here's the MACD. She's already starting to show some weakness here, and lower histogram thing, right? It's lower. Not yet seeing her curve over, but this is the first times we start looking at there. That and being at resistance, and we may stay up here a couple of days. Lose the non-moving average, or even better than that, lose the trend line that we're on the local time frames. Ooh, look, maybe it's happening. Or maybe she's flagging to the upside. Look, that measured move would just take you from here. Breakout, we could be seeing 66%. I'm going to throw this out there, and you guys kind of caught that reference, and you're trying to be a pattern trader. It is my duty just as a decent human being, to point you in the right direction for pattern traders. And the best alpha that you'll get on how to do this correctly is a free site called thepatternSite.com, and it's maintained and constantly updated by the man who wrote the book on pattern trading and did all the nerdy calculations so that you don't have to. Now you can go out and buy his book. It's $60 to $100 usually, or you can come and make your way through his very janky, I'll agree, 1980s web, or 19, they wasn't around in the 80s, the early 1990s, early 2000s website. Don't you remember when Al Gore founded the internet? But you can go to the chart pattern index, where I usually keep this, and all that information is there. So if you just need a point in the right direction, there you go. And it might save you $99 a month. You will get more here than you will pay $99 a month for somebody to tell you wrong. But if you want some things that are more accurate and actually do hit when you're measuring, if you would like to make a measure move and actually see it get hit or get in that right area, stick around here, because I do go by Bukowski's guidelines as best as I can. Not saying I do it perfect, but he's the place to go to learn. For you pattern traders and just good general information there. So we've not broken trend line, and that leaves a possibility. We're going to bounce, do a double top, do some kind of M pattern, or are you going to come out of here and follow it back up? I just need us to break a trend line, baby. We got 3 humps, 1 hump, 2 hump, 3 hump, and hopefully a dump, and maybe we can come down a little bit and get some relief out of these altcoins. Here's what happened. This was nice. What was this, Monday, February the 25th? Let's see what happened between it and the, it was only one day. What happened with altcoins on what day was this? I thought I could double deck this thing. Can I? I could try that. And then we put total 3 down here. It's always hairy when I try this. Where are you, total 3? Oh, here you. My goodness, what? Are we on a different time? Oh, in the daily versus. Oh, you're both daily. See, now I gotta scrunch you all up and stuff. That's what sucks. All right, where was this period? This was right here. Oh, it was that one little day of green. Is that what it was? Oh, you suck.
Under moonlight, shadows linger, velvet whispers.
Well, this stuff is never as impressive as when I do it. I gotta learn my way around this. Joe. Okay, am I going to back out of everything or what? There we go. Now we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, let me come to the chat because this turkey's about out of stuff to talk about, believe it or not. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything over here. So shout out to you guys. Board PC guys are here earlier, and I think he had to go to bed. Member for 3 months in the fan club. Give him a shout out. There's Joe's side over there. $3 a month, you can access the membership area, which I can't even access just by videos. I don't even know what it looks like for you guys. It looks different for me. And that's where I have the chart school videos. Well, you get to see what it looks like for me. And the chart school videos are every Thursday. We're up to number 9. Last one we went over trading styles. This next one, I'm going to be focusing more on the Fibonacci's. But I've got the original chart school video series. They're short videos that just kind of break down what I do and the basics that you learn and what you would learn in a paid group and things like that. And any questions that are posted in those videos, I do try to address. And then we got the live series. I started doing it live every Thursday at 8 p.m. So far, that's working out pretty decent. Although it makes my Thursdays a little hectic because I Something exciting always happens on those days, it seems. And that's available for just $3 a month. And here we are right now. This music mellows me out. Also, the music is available over on Spotify, wherever you stream. If you have Alexa, just say, Alexa, play songs by Road Dogg Crypto, and you can have crypto trading music in the background, or go to the YouTube topic. And Joe over here also, I think he's probably got a topic one out, right? Let me show you what mine looks like, and I'll show you what Joe's looks like. Road Dogg Crypto topic. I have no control over this website. This is done by YouTube, but all the songs that I've published, that I've released, and for streaming platforms and everything, are also available on YouTube just to hear. And you can check out the early days, and then later on, when my thumbnail and the album cover started getting better, but you can check out all the songs over there too. Add them to your playlist, do whatever. But I'd like to get some more subscribers over to that too. We got the 26 so far, not bad. 82 songs. Pick out the ones you like. You can ask them, and they're on Spotify and everything else. And let's see if Joe's got his up. I can't spell intuition. Oh my gosh. And there we go. There we are. Joe's got his up, and I'm going to subscribe to that. And he's got okay. So he's published his first song over there. So you guys need to go over. I'm his only subscriber. Come on, can we make this thing go up, please? It's Joe, man. I was your first subscriber, Joe. Me, the turkey. First. I need. I'm the first one to like it too. You guys suck. There's this song. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's blasting my ears though. I can hear it. I don't think I got this thing set to do it. I gotta leave a comment. Oh yeah, you can't leave a comment. Okay. I'm the first one to like and subscribe, Joe. Now you know. Okay, lady. Am I still the only subscriber over there? Come on, guys. All you gotta do is... I will make this easy. Is this it? Copy the clean link. We come over here and we put it in the chat. All right. And this all started with me saying thank you to these guys. Thank you, Port PC guys. Thank you, Antonio Awesome, you're a member as well. Thank you, Melis Williams. I don't know if you're still here, but if you still are, thank you for joining and subscribing. And for the super chat, I'm 100% crowdfunded, other than, the little airplane with my code for Tangem wallets. And I'm just going to sit here until I see at least one more subscriber over here on this topic, and there's not an excuse for their 5 subscribers. You guys are awesome. And that's how you help new guys like me and Joe, and we're not new. We've been doing this for a while. Joe's been doing it longer than I have. I've been doing this for 3 years. And that's how you help our channels to grow, because man, damn, it's slow growth for streamers. If I can crank out a little coin video and say it's going to 100x, I can get all kinds of people subscribing. But that's not my audience. But if I wanted to grow up quick, I found that that's the fastest way to grow your channels. They love those little 10-minute videos where you're getting and talking about their favorite coin, and unless you say something they don't want to hear, and then they're like, you suck. But thank you guys. That's cool. 5 subscribers. Yeah. 7 subscribers. It's growing. You guys are awesome. There we go. And that's how you help a brother out. And I lost where I was in my own studio. And I've got, thank you to you guys, 26 subscribers in the last 28 days. That's about one a day. That's pretty decent for me now. 1,763 after 3 years of doing this. 3 years, I believe, this past month. And my first 6 months, I think I got 900 subscribers. In the past 2.5 years, I've only doubled that. And it's because I went streamer instead of doing the little video things. And I don't know why, but for some reason, this is harder to grow. But the reason I do it is because we're current. My gosh, where am I at? I've got too many windows open up. And, you know, I've still got a few of my old videos that people look at, and I'm like, this is outdated information. What the hell? But, you know, most people just want a price prediction or something like that, and I guess the video still went out. Look, now we're starting to get a little traction out of our altcoins. What's going on now? Are we getting a bouncy, or are we starting to lose on dominance? It's because you guys subscribe to Joe's Topic channel. That's what it is. They do a little good, and the universe gives it right back. Oh, if only we would just go bearish on Bitcoin dominance and not range out here like we are at the top. That would just be so awesome. We could just lose a few levels over here on something. I don't know. What have you got for me, Bitcoin? Are you doing it? Or yeah, here's what we want to see. Here's what we want to see. On the 1 hour, how we've crossed bearishly with the moving averages. We lost the 9. We're under the 50. We're under the 9. Technically, we're under the 21 right now, but they still got some stuff to work out. In a green cloud should suck us in, spit us out underneath the red, and if this one will stop being thick and start getting thin and spindly, that might be a drop. But right now she's just kind of, technically she could be flagging out to break out and send Bitcoin dominance to a much higher area. So we also got to entertain that idea, because that's what this cloud is kind of entertaining. That area would be up here at 73%, which in my personal opinion, you know how we sit around every once in a while and we'll say, man, like with Bitcoin, just to remind you, we sat around, or I remember streaming, it's out there where, you know, we came up to a 3.618 Fibonacci area for Bitcoin and total 3. That's to be a top area. We got a triple top pattern on top. Man, it would suck, you know, if we spent all summer ranging out and we had that talk. And then, as weird as it is, that's exactly what we did. We wasted all summer in this damn range, ignoring top signals and crossing MACDs and all this other stuff. In the same vein of that, and those ideas, our true altcoin season on Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion, I mean, wouldn't it be wild if we got to go through all this pain on Bitcoin? I mean, altcoins can go up, but they're just not going to do it until we get up to 73% like we have all these other times. Because this is where when a true altcoin season happened. We had 2 last year, or this was 2019 September, and we started slowly coming down. And then 2020, that's when it happened, and it was very short. And it was from January 2021, 4 years ago, to May was when this market was a blasting. Ain't happening it has not happened in 4 years later during those months, is it? There was the hope here in November with that little run there until December. That little run right there from November to December, that was the greatest, that was the best thing altcoins that we've had in a while, except when it happened over here from in July of 23 to September. Any of these little rejections off the top of this trend line will be good, help our altcoins, and I hope we get one here, at least back to the yellow line, something, because the other option is to break out and go up. and that'll be good for Bitcoin. I mean, for whatever reason, it spells that everybody be trying to get into Bitcoin, and that could be countries, all the, you know, TradFi people and all that trying to jump in, and that might be what we see. But it can also be a lot of altcoins selling out, and that's generally what this means. As you know, in the altcoin, in the whole market of crypto, Bitcoin is the dominant player by 63%, and it could grow as much as almost 3/4 of the whole thing. And when you can take in consideration how many freaking altcoin projects are out there and how many individual coins and everything, and that they're mostly focused on these 21 million, it's not even that much anymore, versus all the gazillion coins out there. They just want 21 million of these rather than all the bazillions of all these other projects out there. I mean, altcoins just are lackluster and not, you know, they're not going to have as much weight. So you got to pick your altcoins wisely and pick the right meme coin. Altcoin does not equal meme. There's good altcoin projects out there, but then there's a lot that really just overhype and overvalue. And it's hard to come to terms with that until the market shows you that by saying, look, your altcoins suck right now, and so do mine. Ladies and gentlemen, let me come back to the chat here. Joe says, awesome, didn't know the Trade to Intuition Topic Music channel was up. I thought it would take a week. No, they're pretty quick. And it's a pretty fast place for when you release your song that it'll show up there. I'll start pumping out the music, been making songs. It's been fun. It'll take your mind off the market too. Hit them up and give them a nudge. People are turkey phobic, says Sam. Haven says, money that's been taken out of Bitcoin is just because it's been turned risk off, but just earmarked for risk asset in the future, right? You're talking about risk on, risk off asset. There was, we were thinking maybe the reason I watched standard or the SPX 500 over here, which is on the wrong time frame now. Get all these things set right. Daily. Okay, we're good. The reason I watch this is because, I mean, Bitcoin has been included with that, and it would follow that a lot. Because the S&P 500s are pretty much the risk on asset, the risky ones, and tech stocks and all that, which have been obliterated, especially since China, where a lot of the technology is not wanting to play ball. Probably not a good idea to look at that chart, because I think we're at near. I thought we might bounce here, might bounce there, but we are at 618 and a trend line. We need to see what's going on, and it looks like we're getting some kind of thing going over there. But you know that you would think that they're starting to look at Bitcoin as not being as much of a risk on access and more of a store of value, and it started to look like that, but now it's kind of, I don't know, I think they're still kind of following along there, and some people get scared and sell out of Bitcoin because they don't understand it. They think it's like Nvidia, or, you know, I don't know what it does, but it's in that category. I think my computer's kind of on the blink here. Oh, I put you over here. I've got you over here. Maybe I got too many windows up. That might be what's happening with me. All right, so SPX. Ooh, so that's a purple line. Let's fib this guy out. Let's go from way down here. That's an interesting place there too. I'm going to mark a few fib levels here. So that one's a possible. I don't think I looked at that one before.
A secret code that only I can hold. I'm chasing the high.
From this bottom to there, we came down to the 0.5. I was thinking of the 618. It's not. The 618's down here, right below the 3. I hope we don't come down here at the 618. Usually the stock market, now in crypto, I'm used to seeing the 618 respected a lot, especially in the neutral market. In the stock market, from what I can tell, it's more leaning toward more the 0.5. I may be wrong on that because I don't play around with this too much. But from what I've seen, the 0.5 gets respected a lot more. Hopefully we bounce off of this, and look who's there. Look who's there on the daily right there. Who is that price talking to? Or almost talking to? It's that little devil girl. You know who I'm talking about. Okay, we're gonna have to move chat behind my girls here. That little devil girl likes to bust everybody's bubbles right there. The 666 moving average. Yep. That's her sitting right there. And hopefully we'll talk to her amounts and not have to touch this 800 one. That would be cool, but I think a lot of people would expect a V-shaped recovery. I don't think that's what we're going to get. Have we done that before? Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe. I'll take that back. A big sharp drop. This was COVID. I've heard a lot of people compare this drop to COVID. Maybe we can take a little bars pattern over here. We'll carry this little guy over a little bit and we'll compare it. Is it similar? Gonna blow her up a little. Oh snap! And this is where it gets tricky, guys.
I'll try to stay calm, but the fear is getting real. I'll ride the crypto wave, but it's hard to conceal.
I was trying to see how we did this and came up with that little flag. I found that interesting. I find it interesting that they respect the same areas too, don't you? And put it side by side. I mean, they respected the same area, bounced off the same area, came back up. Let me see if I can tune her in just a wee bit. Ah, crap. It's like trying to back up a truck. It's going in the opposite way that you think it would. Oh, man. Okay, that's as close as I'm going to be able to get it. Did I screw it up? Because I had it. I could have just rewound it, I guess. I guess I could do all. Just get me back to where I was before. Okay. But might we see something like this, and how long would it take? Because we got an idea now. Or, you know, something to compare it to. So she dipped down there on, so far this is the biggest wick we got. And I got those lined up. It looks like we came up. So it pretty much took a week before we started getting somewhere and fell back, and then yeah, a couple of weeks. According to this, if we do play out something similar to this, and I guess I should line it. Well, your time frame is still not playing out. That may have more to do with me. Now I'm spending too much time getting in too picky on the stuff. This is not anything that you can even count on, but it's interesting how it does play out. I'm trying to stretch you out and line you up time-wise. Oh, there we go. That's close enough. Similar, but different. Different, but a little similar. But maybe a V-shaped recovery. So maybe the things will straighten out in the next few days. That would be cool. Otherwise, you know, we just keep losing levels and going down. I don't see that momentum is still there though for SPX 500, and it's just got a history, and it is a trend line that it is seeming to respect so far. I just know I'm sick of the markets being down. I think everybody else is too. Not the 6 Juanita, says J Valley. How's it going, J Valley? RS Miller. Haven says nobody sell their crypto, okay? Or nobody sell their crypto for food, okay? It's like the golden rule. The pizza. Ave says use Opus Pro to generate AI clips of your content. Helps to create shorts or at least 3 to 5 minute videos. AI rates videos that can give you most traction. Try it out. I have to look at that. Opus Pro. Let me open that window just so I got it up. It went right to that. One long video, 10 bar. Oh, that does look interesting. I've been hoping there would be something like that out there. Sweet, thank you for that. I'm gonna bookmark that little guy and take a look at him later. Does this make it? I guess this makes it easier to do drop a link or get free clips to do shorts and things like that. Cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. My mouse is acting buggy. It's just not doing what I want it to do. So far, it looks like odds are starting to look a little bit decent on the daily or the hourly. Some of them up 0.5%. That's pretty good on them. Well, let's take a look at some of these altcoins real quick. Let's just kind of run through them. Let's do a speed round. You want to do a speed round? Let's do a speed round. There's a lot of stuff I was supposed to do tonight, but thought about doing. I haven't done. Let's take a look at some of the hot ones out here. I do have some of these myself. Let's take a look at NEAR. This is what NEAR looks like. NEAR sucks right now. Back to where it was December of 23, when I was thinking, man, I need to make sure I stock up on some NEAR. Yeah. I had a lot of NEAR and they got me in August and they wiped me out. I got liquidated on my position in NEAR with spot margin. And it left me a little bit, and then I built that bag back up. And now my bag is down again, but I've not been liquidated. Knock on wood. The thing I learned on how not to do that with hedging, but it's not been fun. I will not do this strategy again next time. There comes a time, and this is a good time, when you look back and you got to do an evaluation, man. You got to do a performance review like your boss used to do on you. And it looks like NEAR might be headed down here to $1.65. Hard to believe when that sucker was up here at $8 just a few months ago in December. NEAR. I mean, it's pretty much been the bear market for altcoins. It's been just like a bear market, down 77% from its December high there. And I mean, this was the bear market. NEAR was up here at $19. You can see why I like it. I actually got into NEAR when she was like, oh man, she was cheap, but I didn't get that many of them. I sold a lot of them off when she got into profit. I didn't have any idea she's going to $20. You know, it was something that was trading around $1, maybe not even $1 when I first got into it. It wasn't $1 when I first got into it. And I think it got up to like $2.35, and I was like, yeah! That seemed awesome back then. Didn't think it'd go up to 20, but it did. Made sure I want to have some back in 2023, 2022. And The good things about these altcoins being back to the lows is that you have an opportunity to moonbag them easier, so you can get your you can double them up a lot quicker as soon as we figure out where these lows will be.
I don't know, I couldn't say, I didn't know how far it could go. How I long for yesterday.
From the very swing low to the very swing high. It's also telling us we're in a deep ass retracement, 886 retracement for near. I thought you were going to make this a speed round. I thought I was too, but it's not. I started bringing out my fibs and I got to talk. So we should be in an area that I hope to gosh we bounce from here somewhere. 165 maybe on the table. Let's is there confluence with the 886? I did not check that. Nope. Not on that one. Is there here? Oh, we do have. Are you at? No, not the one that I would be looking for you to go there for.
Oh, I believe in yesterday.
The only thing that I'm not like that I'm seeing is, man, I do not like what I'm seeing on the Ichimoku cloud on any of these things. The cloud looks like they could still have some momentum down. And maybe it's just the cloud talking. Bigger moving averages, 800, 600, 200, 360. Man, that's actually pretty decent.
For all the times you rode that moon, my friend. Thought those games.
All right, well, we got near.
And I told you
Let's run through a few of these. Let's try to do it quicker. Try. I'm not seeing any good signs here on the daily. I'd like to see something with some decent signs on the daily. Uniswap, not quite there yet.
So when it's up, just pay yourself. Don't ride the wave till profit.
Must be the thought we're at a bottom.
Take some gains, don't hoard the wealth. Oh baby, you should.
There might be a local bottom there, catch a little bounce, but she can still come down lower. She made a lower low than what we had there. That's not good. Looks like we might be looking back at trendline city and could be coming down to 430, 435 or so. Not too much further from where we're at already. So what's a little bit more pain going to hurt, right? Same thing. Momentum 800, 600, 300. 200 moving average is at $10 on the daily. I mean, the 200's kind of a price usually meets that 200 several times. That's kind of like our little, I wouldn't say baseline, but almost like a baseline. Or equilibrium when we come back to our 200 moving average. I mean, we just we just wave and fluctuate through there. So we're far away from that. We're kind of. It's kind of like the middle ground of our little wave. In other words, you know, when we do all this stuff like this, we kind of look at the movement, the 200 moving average is kind of being our, you know, where we always come back to. But it usually has it doesn't look anything at all like that. Price will bounce off of the 200, but it's kind of that idea. It's kind of the, you know, our little balance line there.
Secure the bag, then walk away. And I say, one thing's real.
So all these guys are coming up today. What's coming up on the daily? We're still down on the daily. How about Sonic? Remember Sonic? That one took a hit. They've all taken a hit. And it sucks right now because I can't find I don't feel comfortable on a lot of these taking along, and they're not in a good place to take a short. And I am entertaining ideas of taking shorts whenever we get a pump up, but we got to get a pump up first for me to take one, right? Sonic, man, came down and made a lower low. Lowest it's been. At least on Bitfinex. Here we go. Here's a chart. Don't have the volume on it, but at least we got the complete price history. So lowest she was down is 31 cents on Sonic, and that was. Oh, this chart ain't old. Oh, it's formerly FTM. Maybe that's what's throwing it off. Well, this is not. This is just for this year.
Crypto's caliente, feel the golden fight. Oh, Fibonacci, suave and slow. See a trace of peaks, que linda sight.
We got enough to work with, but my gosh. So we need to hold this guy, definitely. And I don't know if she's going to or not. Smaller time frames, the 1 hour says, oh, we might. Might have a little chance there. I think that's our best touches there. And a slide ass channel. There's lots of ways to look at that channel, I did. But not that way. So connecting the dots here, we got 3 touches on one, 2, more than 2 on the other, 3 or 4 or 5 on the other, whatever. We've got a pattern, and this one's actually a bullish pattern. Any pattern that's going down and to the right, I mean, they're bullish. Any that are going up and to the right, well, they're bearish. And so I was looking at some charts earlier tonight, and I saw the one YouTuber very proud of himself for making up a pattern called an ascending cup and handle. And it's basically a higher high. It's basically a higher high, higher low kind of deal. And they're always to the upside, but they're not because they're rising for one thing. And I just usually smile when I see those, because usually everyone that I see, most of them that I see in, unless they're, you know, actually, they're usually a top is what I'm seeing. Or it usually doesn't play out the way that they think. But hey. But this is cool. We got a partial decline here. A slightly higher low there. This is the pattern that we want to see a partial decline, and maybe we're getting it here on Sonic. There's some bullish divergence going on. That's cool. Hope it sticks. It's there on the RSI, but it's not as strong. There's still just a slight. I go from candle bodies, and there's just the slightest little uptick. So, but this is cool. This is cool. This is the 1 hour where you look like on the 15. Nice. Our other altcoins doing this too, because that's a breakout. This was a breakout, and that's a breakout. So Sonic, we probably need to take a look at this high. And from that high, we are testing our little area that's good. We get above, and then we're already above it if we take it from this local high. And either way you want to do it, this is really good for paying attention to what it's going to do short term. Are we headed to, wow, from 39 cents all the way to 41? Woo! Buy me a Lambo. If we can just get up to make a higher high, we'll get up to 44, maybe even up to 46. That would even be better. So a breakout of that little trend line, and it's just to me, we're making it possible. Well, shoot, I guess you got to go all the way up here though. A double bottom pattern in a channel. So in other words, we got to get past 46 cents to be bullish. I'm not certain that that's going to fly, but at least we're not dropping. At least we got something to do, right? And maybe she's got to come up and get rejected and start working on something else. But I like to see that. That at least gives us a little bit of hope. What's Bitcoin? Oh, Bitcoin is up again, right? Bitcoin also doing the same thing. Altcoins are mimicking it. So Bitcoin's got to break out. Yay! She made a higher low. This is good. This is good. We got a higher low from this one over here, kind of like what we saw. Sonic. That's hope. That's hope. That's hope. And if the stock market can find support on, you know, like the SPX, if it will also do something similar to that, because I mean she did nab a little line, that would be great too. But see, they're closed and they were working on a rollover. Maybe they can switch quick, I guess, on the 1 hour. I'm trying to see what they look like on the daily over here. Oh, look at this. This is the SPX. This is, now they're closed. They closed at what, 4 or 5 o'clock, but on the daily, that's actually looking good. RSI has already bounced and going to the upside. The VWAP, this orange thing is going up, and it looks like it's getting close to printing a green dot there. Tomorrow morning might be a decent day for the regular stock market, or at least the tech stocks. Maybe they'll decide, oh, we sold off in fear, and we may just be seeing, and right when they closed here at 4 o'clock, they had a green candle there. This is signifying some chop. Green cloud, red cloud. I think tomorrow we might see a bullish day of the regular stock market. Let's hope so. And looks like Bitcoin is trying to set the lead for it. That's a higher low, people. That's a good sign that we might be doing a W pattern here. At least we're not dropping down. Not dropping down as much. Guys, let me check back with the chat. I've been going to, oh my god, we went on a 2-hour stream. God bless you guys for hanging out. Are we going for 3 hours? No. Haven says, what else is breaking out? Looks like it's like a lot of them are starting to break out. Everything is starting to break out, or it's starting to go up a little bit. Zilica, oh wow, look at you. So total 3, I guess. Let's take a look at total 3 real quick again, or others. Let's take a look at others. Higher low. We got our higher low. Is that a 0.5 Fibonacci or 886? I can't tell. Well, we regained this one. I guess we're counting that one too. That's cool. This is good. She ain't out of the woods. She's got a lot of work and still got that bearish momentum, but that's a good thing that we're saw there. So it's imperative that this or any chart that we're looking at, that we get our higher high in. So what we got to look for tomorrow, total 3 is a good index, but even on your coins, they're probably doing a pattern that's kind of similar to it, or a lot of them will be. If they can't get their higher high, then we're looking at maybe rolling over again, either ranging or going for a lower low. So it's imperative that tomorrow we see some good action here. Come back to Bitcoin here one more time. Oh crap, we're on the 15-minute time frame, and my mouse is just acting all crazy. It is still looking bearish. I mean, the momentum is still there. So and a trend line. It would be cool if we could we need to get 81, about 81.5. If we can get above that, that would be cool. Even if we just go up and come back down. So I'm gonna have to watch this. That's cool. Now we're a possible W pattern. A possible bottom happening here, and it's not going to be confirmed until we get above the neckline, and we could, you know, we could still do something like that. But it does suggest that we might be headed back toward 80,000 tomorrow. Let's hope. Get our fingers crossed. Another hiccup area might be around right around 78, according to the moving averages there. But let's see what we can do. Guys, thanks for hanging out. I've got a special treat if I can get it going. I think I've got it where it's set up where we can do that on the end screen. We're going to take a look at Freakbox. Yeah. And they can get a cover my ad revenue. Yay. Wait a minute. That's the wrong screen. We got to go to a different screen. My bad. We need to go to... Where are you? This one? Yeah, this one. We're going to come up. Hey, there's no music over here. This one's totally. Are you ready for some? Let me make sure we got it. Window capture. I think we're good. Yeah. For some. The one of you guys may be in this band. One of you they watch the channel. They this is I'm a Punk by Freakbox, and make sure I got my. I'm not trying to blast you. All right, here we go. Freakbox. Shout out to you guys. Pogo! Oh, psychedelic, I like it.
I'm a punk. I'm a punk. Anarchy is running through my veins. I'm writing punk. I'm a punk. I'm a punk.
Freakbox, ladies and gentlemen, Freakbox. Uh-oh. They're also available on YouTube. And they could use a little love with their subscribers too. Freakbox has got 130. Some of them are from you because I asked for subscribers before. If you like them, go check them out.
Digital whisper says hold tight, but I'm losing faith in the night. When moon crypto, when moon, I'm so tired of waiting. Everyone is capitulating.
Jungle Boy 420 says that you know, but it might be one of you guys. They watch the show and have been for a while. It's cool when you find out stuff like that. I think it's King Hell. I think it's King Hell who joins us. I think that might be who's in there. That's just my guess. I always knew this would end with me running through the woods transferring crypto from multiple devices as a warrant is being stopped at my home by my girlfriend, but now I understand the turkey mask. Yes, the turkey mask. That was a cool song, wasn't it? All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Be careful tomorrow. Let's hope that we're getting a better day tomorrow. I'm tired of the red days. I'm just tired of it. And I don't know what we're going to do, but I don't know if this is, I don't think it's necessarily a great time to look. There might be some trades to look at, short-term trades, but I'm kind of still looking for opportunities to short the markets too. So at any peaks, I might be looking for some shorts to do too, especially on altcoins. I don't know. It will be choppy for a bit, so it seems. Encore! Good night, everybody. Thank you, Jay Pilot.